An election development of sorts here. Cardi B, bone dry for Joe Biden 2024. Cardi B is a gravel pit for Joe Biden 2024. Just a pouch of
That's going to be
sand
the follow-up.
and rock. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
She's got Megan Thee Stallion already signed.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Bone dry for Biden.
It's a barren wasteland for Joe Biden 2024. She voted for him in 2020, but Cardi B says she's experienced layers and layers of disappointment since Joe Biden became president. I feel like people got betrayed, the WAP rapper said in an interview with Rolling Stone published Thursday. Citing high living costs and what the music publication described as her disappointment with domestic and foreign mismanagement, the 31-year-old performer said, "It's just like, damn, y'all not caring about nobody." Then it really gets me upset that there's solutions to it. There is a solution. I know there's a solution because you're spending billions of dollars on any fucking thing, Cardi B, who was born Belcalis Almanzar, said, expressing concern that she could be blackballed for speaking about the Israel-Hamas war in Gaza. Well, you just said enough there. If you'll get blackballed just for saying you'd get blackballed. So best of luck to you. Everybody go download her stuff. Got to support Macklemore and now Cardi B. Cardi B said, America don't pay for endless wars for countries that we've been going through shit for a very long time, for countries that have been going through shit for a very long time. There's countries where kids are getting killed every single day, but because the U.S. won't benefit from that country, they won't help, she said. I don't like that America has this superhero cape on. We never did things to be superheroes. We did things for our own convenience. The Grammy Award winner, who's known for being outspoken on political and social issues, said in 2020 that she woke up early to vote for Biden. She had initially backed Senator Bernie Sanders in the Democratic presidential primary before endorsing Biden when the Vermont Independent exited the race. I'm just going to go with Joe Biden because I cannot see the next step of America being ran by number 45, the New York-born music artist said at the time, referring to then President Trump. Last year, she declared she wouldn't be voting this November in the White House race, calling out the Biden administration for sending foreign aid to fund 2 wars amid New York City budget cuts. I'm not endorsing no fucking presidents no more, because how is there a $100 million budget cut in New York City for fucking schools, library, police, safety, and sanitation, she said last November. In her interview with Rolling Stone, Cardi B knocked both Biden and Trump, saying, I don't fuck with either one. Based Cardi B there going into 2024. And, this is something that, I thought about this when I read this article, when I saw that, she's not backing Biden. Obviously, Macklemore makes a point in his song to say he's not backing Joe Biden. The Democrats have no cool factor this year whatsoever. They at one time they did have one during the Obama races. They definitely had them, all the celebrities who people genuinely thought were hip and cool were backing Obama. 2016 didn't really work for a lot of us, but they tried. They gave it the old college try. You had Katy Perry at the convention. You had Jay-Z and Beyonce on the stump, right? 2020, there's only so much of a cultural moment you can produce when everyone's sort of locked in their house, right? But they tried. And it was the cool thing to do to go and vote against Trump, to dethrone Trump that year. 2004, you had, Green Day. You had the Vote for Change tour. You had a little bit. The Democrats have no celebrities. It is uncool to back Joe Biden this year. That's another thing that's going to hurt them, right? And you talk about young people. Yes, a lot of the young people are not so superficial as to be like, well, shit, if Jay-Z's not telling me to vote for Joe Biden, I'm not going to. But some of them are.
Oh,
is Taylor Swift going to come out and endorse Biden right now? He has none of that. He has none of that going for him this time. That's one thing that I noticed. And now you can scratch Cardi B off the list.
Are we sure we want to book Lizzo?
Yeah,
well,
right,
it'll take focus off your own history of abuse, sir.
Yeah,
I see your point. I see your point. All right, I'm gonna start a sentence in a way I never thought in my life I would start a sentence. What I love about Cardi B is I never thought those words would come out of my mouth. But no, man, look, it's not my kind of music. But she's always been fucking based. I mean, going back to the Sanders campaigns, most people at her level of celebrity and wealth, they get out of touch. They just get out of touch. I mean, you look at Beyonce, come on,
right.
She's in that world. She's in that. Oh yeah, I saw Sir Elton at Fashion Week last week. These people don't know nothing about groceries. Somehow she has managed to maintain that connection. Even when she was talking on behalf of Bernie Sanders, she sounded very genuine, like she got it. That's what was so striking about it. She didn't sound, even a lot of celebrities who might be taking a position you like, they sound like they mean well, but even then they don't really get it. They don't really get it. They're too rich to really get it. She somehow has maintained that connection to people, and she really sounds like she gets it. Her finger seems to always be on the pulse. That's what always strikes me when she speaks on politics.
Well, there are certain formulations that working class people come up with instantly. Like when we're out on the streets canvassing for Jose Vega, you kind of notice that. Like, hey, why are we spending all this money funding two wars at once when we're cutting the sanitation budget here? Like, that's something a working person would be very conscious of. Beyonce is not going to have a dollars and cents approach to politics like that. It's going to be about cultural signaling, which candidate represents who I am more than the other, right? Assuming no one's going to be a complete representation. How do I channel myself, right, through a candidate? And how do I endorse a candidate as a form of self-expression? Not as a form of, crunching the numbers, dollars and cents, war and peace. There's a sort of earthiness about the way working people analyze these questions. And the way she talks about it there matches exactly that. I don't understand why we have $100 million budget cut here in New York City when we're sending all this money to Israel and Ukraine.
Right. And that's something usually would not hear from a figure like Cardi B, just because of her economic reality.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
She has managed to maintain that kind of like a working class person's direct perception. 2 + 2 = 4. It's very simple. It's very direct.
You can count on one hand the number of celebrities who would even know about a sanitation budget cut.
Of course.
They don't even pay attention to that for the most part.
I got to say, anybody who's been watching the show knows I've been looking more at this cultural congress kind of stuff. And I'm reading Weird Tales of the Canyon, which kind of very strongly suggests intelligence agency connections to the counterculture in the 60s. I'll say this. I mean, I don't know about then. I'm digging into that. I will say now, I just don't believe there are no talented people who are not completely vapid and whose work isn't just totally meaningless and lacking in any real political message. So I look at somebody like Taylor Swift. I mean, she's not like a great talent in the history of musicians and songwriters. So why is she at that level? And more, I'm saying, yeah, they put her there. Not in quite the way the Republicans mean, to help the Democrats. But yeah, at the very least, the same way that that the media, that the establishment, the corporations elevate politicians who are going to serve them well. They elevate celebrities who are going to serve them well also. And they elevate musicians who are going to serve them well. And again, I think there's always been the assumption, well, if it's the Beatles and Hamburg, it's just good. And that's too good for the establishment to crush it. I mean, maybe that was true at one time. I don't even know if that's true. It's not true now, man. It's not true now. When you look at how music and culture is created now, they have so much control over distribution that to get to Taylor Swift's level, they have to be behind you. And they're not going to get behind. Like somebody like Cardi B, she didn't make her career talking this shit. She started talking this shit later.
Right.
It's too late now. She slipped through. But in general, why is Beyonce? And Beyonce, I would say, is more talented than Taylor Swift. But what? There's nobody as talented as Beyonce with something to say?
I mean, she's a pretty good singer.
No, I'm saying she's more talented.
Yeah.
But what?
Yeah.
There's nobody out there with a meaningful message? What? There's nobody who's not like, Taylor Swift double album about, crying in the shower, whatever the fuck she's doing, like fucking broken-hearted ex-girlfriend porn. Like nobody's doing something more meaningful who is at a high musical level, higher than hers.
Yeah, no, there's plenty. I mean, I could think of some artists off the top of my head that are really quite good, but that don't have the reach. And now, in a sense, it's music is more available to everyone than ever before. For whatever $5, $6, $7 a month, you can get unlimited songs streamed to your phone, right? So everything is available to you. But you really have to make a point to seek good stuff out.
Right,
and I find it like really hard to discover good music now because none of it is given to you. The homepage of the Apple Music screen is all garbage. All of it. You really have to dig deep. You have to find artists, more obscure artists that you like, and then hope that based on that, the algorithm recommends this other artist that you like. But it's really a journey. Like the only artist now who has a kiosk with their CDs featured in like Target is Taylor Swift.
Right.
Like, that's it. Even the new Beyonce album I didn't see in hard copy form in a department store. I went to Target the other day. Taylor Swift has a whole kiosk of hard copy CDs. No one's buying that shit anymore except the Taylor Swift albums. She sells physical albums. She's the only one.
And I'm sorry. I hear that music. It's like you might as well buy a CD of the best fast food jingles of all time. Like there's nothing going on there, man. So how do you get to that level? Like how much can you, if you're just presentable, right? Reasonably attractive, and they can do enough with auto-tune to make you sound reasonably decent, and you just do this very formulaic hook that people's brains are programmed to pick up. Can you just make a superstar? I mean, I look at Taylor Swift and the answer is yes. Like, look, Madonna, that was never my kind of thing, but she had something going on that I could recognize.
Oh, yeah.
But with this, it's like, did they just make that? Like, did they just make that in the lab, so to speak? And just, this will keep them distracted. This isn't going to get anyone riled up, that's for sure.
Well, that's for sure.
Please clap.